In Russia, we not only drink vodka, we drink Russian Imperial Stout. Hello and welcome to day one of my 7 stouts in 7 days challenge. This is a challenge that no one else is participating in, so I'm not really sure if it should even be called a challenge. It's a challenge I've set for myself to grow as a person, to grow as a filmmaker, and to grow, most importantly, my palate and my understanding of the style that I abhor, the stout. Before I dive into my review, I would like to say that I read a little bit about Russian style Imperial Stouts, which is the style I'll be reviewing today if the whole, didn't clue you into it. It's a Russian style stout. I'm a Russian spy. I don't know what I am. It's Halloween. It's almost Halloween and I'm having fun. It's COVID. Who knows? Okay, anyway. Imperial style Russian stouts, or Russian style Imperial stouts as I probably should say, tend to fall between 8 and 12% ABV. They are brewed with added gravity, which, I know what that is. Gravity is a measure of the total amount of dissolved solids in a liquid. In beer, those solids are typically sugars, which are consumed by yeast in order to convert the wort or unfermentable ingredients in beer. An OG rating is taken at the beginning of the brewing process to measure a beer's original gravity. This number is typically represented by a 1 followed by 4 decimal places and gives you an indication of what the final alcohol content of the beer may be. An FG rating is taken at the end of the brewing process to measure a beer's final gravity. And that's what gravity is. Without further ado, I'm going to take another sip because it's been a few minutes. This beer is a beautiful color. You cannot really see through it at all. It's very chocolatey brown, a nice toasty head foam on the top. I feel like people care about the foam. I don't care about the foam. Kill me. It's probably at cellar temperature now because it's been sitting out for 30 minutes or so. It smells very toasty. No, it's almost got like a Coca-Cola kind of, or root beer kind of flavor, smell flavor. I really like this beer. I thought that I loved Russian style Imperial Stouts despite hating all other stouts, and I think that this beer is just proving that fact for me. It's very smooth. It definitely has a strong toasted oat kind of flavor to it, and it also does have on the back end a hint of licorice. Licorice root can really go either way for me. With this, it's working, I think, because it has some other earthy flavors in there to kind of balance that out. I would overall give this beer probably a 4 out of 5. This was a very good first day of 7 stouts in 7 days, baby. This beer in front of me may be perplexing you a bit, as it is fairly light in color. This is a stouts challenge, right? Today, we're gonna be trying something that's a little controversial. It's a beer that's not recognized by the Brewers Association or any of those other bodies that oversee independent craft brewers and beer styles and all of that nonsense that I didn't know existed. Today, we're trying a white stout. Now, a white stout, as you can see, looks a little bit different than a traditional stout. Stout itself means strong. Stouts tend to be strong in color, strong in flavor, high in alcohol. White stout's a little bit different, so they forego the use of roasted malt, which is what lends a traditional stout its dark color. They're lighter, they're blonder, they're not dark. They also tend to have a lower alcohol percentage, although through all my reading, I couldn't really find a reason why. Like theoretically, you could have a white stout that had a higher alcohol content, but they all tend to hover between like 5 to 7. This one today that I'm trying is brewed by New Holland, which is a brewery in Michigan. It's Dragon's Milk White Stout. It's barrel aged. So there should, in theory, be a lot going on with this beer. I don't want to talk anymore. I just want to try it. First of all, it just smells like a normal beer. I don't think that if I got this and smelled it, no part of my brain would be like, oh, that's a stout. Definitely initially there is a hint of like cocoa coffee-esque flavor, something of that vein. Maybe like a hint of like a vanilla-y flavor, but yeah, not getting any hints of like barrel-aged flavor. I think it just sort of finishes like a normal kind of cheap beer. I think if I had to rate this beer, I would give it like a 2 out of 5. This one is just like not really a stout, like in flavor or substance, and it doesn't really like finish very nicely. It just really tastes like another style of beer. So I think calling it a white stout is a little presumptuous. Anyway, 2 out of 5 stars. See you tomorrow. What? I'm a narwhal. I am filming this after work, so I feel a little frazzled. I didn't do a ton of research on Sierra Nevada because we all know it. We all love it. It's, you know, there are pale ales everywhere. It's my desert island beer. It's the Bud Light of the craft beer world, some haters say. But they make good beer. I think all of their kind of more specialty beer is on par with any good local craft brewery you can go to, and they're nationally distributed. I've been watching too much Great British Baking Show. I can't talk anymore. It doesn't have a super strong smell. It's pretty muted. So let's do this. It's really just a very layered and nuanced beer. I'm honestly a little surprised by the complexity of this beer, kind of because it is a mass-produced beer, or, you know, maybe that's unfair. Maybe I don't know that for sure. Like, I don't really know how much of this one they're pumping out, but, you know, for it to be sold, distributed all over the US, like they've got to be making a decent amount. It definitely has the complexity of like a dark chocolate for me, which makes sense, like baker's chocolate, that makes sense, and sort of has almost a dry finish. That could be part of the alcohol content, that could be the flavor profile. Like, I think chocolate, as creamy and rich as chocolate can be, it does tend to sometimes dry your mouth out, especially the chocolate that you would bake with, simply because it is so bitter. The smoky element is definitely there as well. I would go so far as to perhaps give this beer a 5 out of 5. I've got my notes, which weirdly enough for this beer, I didn't take a lot of notes because there's not a lot of info online about them. So Independence Brewing Co., this is based out of Austin, Texas. They are like kind of mysterious. I feel like not a lot of people down here drink their beers or really know about them, but I personally haven't had a beer from them that I don't like. This is their Oatmeal Stout. This is supposed to be like the ultimate breakfast beer. It is 8% ABV. It's 25 IBU, which is kind of low. Most of the stouts I've been trying have been around like 50 IBU, so this is a little lower. It's, yeah, I don't know. I'm wearing stripes like a convict myself. I feel like my voice has just dropped even lower. When I'm 87 years old, I'm gonna be singing a bass in the church choir or something. Like, that's the level of deepness my voice is now receding to. Let's try it. Okay, that was such a bad tasting sip that I just took. This beer is ultra bitter. Maybe just a tad malty for me, a tad too sweet. I feel like I'm not getting a whole lot from this beer. It's toasty, oatmeal-y. It just smells so off-putting to me. This beer is maybe like the epitome of why I don't always gravitate toward the stout style. It's just like, it's a lot. 1 out of 5. I don't like it. We are here today to have some breakfast in bed, and by that I mean today we will be trying Founder's Breakfast Stout. This is, perhaps I'm overstating it by saying it, but the stout of stouts. Anyone who likes stouts, anyone who I tell that I don't like stouts, always tells me to try Founder's Breakfast Stout. And I don't think I ever have. I seriously don't remember ever trying it before, and I'm surprised that I made it this far without having tried it. It is a double chocolate coffee oatmeal stout, breakfast in a bottle. It's very smooth. It's fairly bitter, which I like. It kind of does really hit you with the coffee flavor. It smells more like chocolate than coffee to me. Yeah, I like it. I think maybe it was a little overhyped. Like, I really thought maybe I was gonna love it, but it definitely, I don't love it, but it is drinkable. especially compared to other stouts that I've had where I have like a sip and I can barely think about finishing them. I know that it probably deserves a 5 out of 5, but I think I'm just gonna give it a 4 out of 5. This beer is brewed with Mexican style hot chocolate in mind. So it's gonna be probably chocolatey, and then there should be a little hint of heat because there are peppers used in the brewing process. Also, these cans have been driving me nuts. Why are all the stone cans printed upside down? It's because they leave no stone unturned. So they've turned everything upside down in perhaps what is a marketing ploy. All right, without further ado, let me just try this beer. I'm always sniffing. I mean, it just smells like chocolatey beer. Let's give her a sip. It's a bit strange. I can't say that I enjoyed that sip very much. It definitely has, you know how beer sometimes just has like a tinniness to it, like a metallic kind of quality? Maybe it's because I drink everything out of cans. Oh, now I'm getting a little heat. A little heat right on the tip of the tongue. Okay, so yes, there is a chocolatiness to it. And yes, there is a pepper quality to it. I don't want to say it's a bell pepper flavor because it's not, but it is that earthy, peppery quality, that vegetal quality, as opposed to heat. I really don't like that at all. It tastes dirty. It's gross. 1 out of 5 stars. I will not finish this, and I absolutely will not buy this beer again. We've made it. This is the end. My cat, my cat came for the last beer. A beer that I've put off drinking for quite some time. It is hefty. Okay, so it's 14.5% ABV. It's 6 point something percent IBU. When I poured it out, it literally looked like syrup. It's brewed with cherries and coconut, and then it's aged in rum barrels. I've never had a beer that's been aged in rum barrels, so this will be a first. I honestly, literally don't want to consume this. After this, I don't have to ever drink a stout again. This beer is so alcoholic. It's very strong with the coconut, which is, it is kind of nice. Like, I definitely have said before in the past, and I maintain my stance on coconut and beer. I think it's a combination that works. I can smell the cherry. I did not taste the cherry on that first sip. Let's give it another go. I realize I took the world's smallest sip. There, I got the cherry. This beer is definitely something that I would recommend splitting with another person, because I think if I drank all of this, 1, I would go to bed and not wake up till tomorrow, and 2, I would be like sick from the sweetness. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, it's not that bad. I'd give it a 3 out of 5. Like, it is what it is. You know going into it, especially because it's Martin House, that it's gonna be a little out there. All their stuff is. So this is... Anyway, we've reached the end. This is the little outro. Thank you so much for watching, and thank all of you for supporting my channel. And yeah, thanks for watching. Bye!